Okay, good evening everybody, and greetings from the City Hall. So my workplace is quite next to the marketplace, so on the way back to the city center you can check where I work at. And I'm coming from the digital management team meeting of City of Helsinki, where we made actually today decisions regarding proactive and personalized services, and also decisions regarding how we are developing our MyData operator capabilities. There are three reasons I'm working for the City of Helsinki. Firstly, I believe that the role of cities is increasing all the time. By 2050, estimate is that 70% of people will be living in cities, and cities have hundreds of different services they are providing for the citizens, from the birth to the last breath of life, so everything in between. So I think that is inspiring and challenging. And the second reason why I'm working for the City of Helsinki is our ambitious vision. As stated earlier, we want to be the most functional city in the world that makes the best use of digitalization. And the third reason is that I think, starting from our mayor, the city is very serious about this vision, and we are working hard to be a little bit more functional every day. If I would ask each of you separately, what does functional city mean to you? I think I would get very different answers depending on your life situation. For parents with small children, it could mean that I get my children great kindergarten close to my home, or for students it could mean that the metro is running throughout the night so I can get back home from the pub. So my point is that expectations and life situations really are different, and we should very well understand those individual needs much better. But I claim that citizen demand is growing, and the feeling of functional city is created if I get the services and information as easy as possible, hopefully without asking, so in a proactive and personalized way. Or I can get to use the city service whenever I want. So this creates the feeling of convenient life in a functional city. And here is the challenge. We estimate that there are over 500 tasks dictated in the law that we should be providing for the citizens. But on top of that, City of Helsinki has taken many additional services it's providing for the citizens. So I argue that you have a massive matching problem. So how the right services and information finds the right customer group, and this kind of matching, how to do it efficiently. I think there is a change going, a bigger trend going in the society. We are moving to a society where the companies and different services are more proactively identify our service and information needs, and to better provide different and varying needs. And especially clear this is if you're using social media services. Depending on your interest, you have a very customized view on the news. But we also believe in a big paradigm shift in the City of Helsinki. We believe that we should be shifting from a reactive city to more proactive city. And but this is not totally new idea. If you think about our tax authorities, I claim that most of the thing, if not everything, gets a very personalized, proactive tax proposal without asking. And this is really a fundamental thing in a welfare state, and in the happiest nation in the world, as you know, 2 consecutive years now that the tax are effectively collected. And this is a big difference compared to the situation like, let's say, 10 years ago when it's a bit more than 10 years ago, when my father was filling up these paper forms and collecting receipts and scratching his head. So now it's a very proactive and personalized service, making us happy taxpayers in Finland. But to give you an idea on what we are doing at the city of Helsinki, we have 7,000 children who are annually applying for preschool placement. And this is a service that we should be providing. I mean, it's dictated by the law, and I claim that service needs are well anticipated. So just today I learned that now next year we will be piloting this kind of proactive preschool placement in 2 regions in the city of Helsinki. So why do we ask parents to fill in forms and spend time with tedious application process if we already have the information available? Or other example of the proactive approach is, hope you all visit this most beautiful library in the world, Oodi Library, but our city library system has AI-based intelligent material management system, meaning that when you return a book can be returned to any of the 37 city libraries depending on where the need is biggest. So if there are many children living in a certain area, we can target or dispatch more children books to that region. But I see the huge potential on a healthcare sector. This is pretty shocking statistics. It's a relatively new article from Helsingin Sanoma article stating that 10% of the people generate 80% of the social and healthcare costs. And here is a direct quote. If we were able to identify and treat these people well in advance, that would be a huge cost saving and very beneficial for the state economy, but also for the city economy. My argument that it would be also very beneficial for these people to get good service, good help rather early on than waiting that the problems escalate. Proactive healthcare is not new phenomena in Finland. We have a long tradition of having cervical cancer screening for all women aged 30 to 60 year old, and we estimate that 250 lives are saved annually because of this cancer screening. And on the screen you can see graphs illustrating how the cancer occurrences have dramatically dropped from 60s to 2013. But my point is that now with the help of data and AI, we are able to identify new risk factors and potentially we have a ability to call in patients proactively if we have right to do so. I mean, if we have consent from the users. So my argument is that now this paradigm shift from a reactive to proactive city will help us detecting not only health risks, but risks related to fire, flooding, much earlier. We are able to save lives, improve quality of lives, save time, money, and energy. But this requires efficient and ethical use of data and AI. And here is the big question: do people trust us? Do they let us use their data to serve them better? And this is why I think MyData principles are important. I'll tell you about a couple of use cases we are working on. We have, together with our neighboring city, we are considering working on the use case where citizen, for example, from Espoo is moving to Helsinki, and the question is how would the person would be able to grant access to his or her personal data. This is not possible today. You can get data when you move, but it's not really it could be in PDF formats. Systems are not communicating. There are not clear, easy consent management platform that would allow exchange of data and consents in an electronic format. So this is a pretty interesting use case. And very common use case, I would argue, people are moving sometimes. But other area is, as said, these new proactive and personalized services. And the question is that, do we need a consent? And if so, what kind of consent is needed? And how do we get the consent to, for example, offer this kindergarten placement, preschool or school placement, or invite person to a doctor's appointment if risks are identified from the healthcare data? For example, already today we can see from the data patients who have been diagnosed with diabetes but haven't gone to doctor's appointment. And the question is that, do we have the right now to call in those patients and give them proper treatment? Or are we what is the right way to ask for the consent? Is consent needed? And if we don't act upon the data we have, are we kind of guilty as a city of not acting? Also, we have been discussing, can we automatically renew parking permits if person is moving one region to another in the city? And there are, as said, many technical challenges to be tackled in order to make this happen. Not only technical challenge, but also legal and regulatory challenges are quite difficult sometimes to really how to comply with not only GDPR, but there are a lot of regulation regarding, for example, healthcare and social data. And also how to communicate about these to users, how to make the user experience so smooth that people really understand what they are giving consent to, and what is the right governance model, and how to change the city culture and way of operating in this new, more proactive approach. So here are the couple of key capabilities that we are now working on. So firstly, we need to have some kind of profile and account to which we can attach these different consents. So we clearly see the need of a good consent management platform through which users can give consents, and not only B2C kind of customers, but also B2B. In many cases, we also have companies as our customers, and individuals represent companies, for example, or parents represent children. And other capabilities, this capability to be a kind of data operators, we need to have a capability to import and export data, and we need to so that enables moving data from one city to another, or if needed, or enables users to download their personal data when requested. And that requires a lot of standardization work. And also, big challenge is how to build the user interfaces and good kind of user experiences to make it more understandable. So my message is that building MyData capabilities, MyData operator capabilities is not target as such, but we need these capabilities to implement our digital strategy to become more proactive and proactive city that is serving citizens in a more personalized way. And this is not possible without trust from our citizens. And we clearly see that there is a lot of activities going around the MyData operator field. We need to collaborate both locally and internationally. We already have good collaboration with a couple of Finnish kind of companies, Posti and Tilaajavastuu, and facilitated by MyData Global. And we have now made a joint application with City of Espoo and Turku to the state funding program. In the government program, there is a kind of even statement about important kind of building these MyData operator capabilities. So, and there is a 30 million grant targeted for cities. So let's see how we qualify in this kind of with our application. Also, we have a collaboration with Open Agile Smart Cities that is working on minimum interoperability mechanism. And of course, there are also a lot of other standardization work around this area. So even identifying all the relevant stakeholders is quite a challenge, how to avoid reinventing the wheel. So collaboration is definitely needed. And we want to understand not only the technical issues, but also what is the role of city in this MyData operator ecosystem, you could argue. I think it's shaping now, and we as a biggest city in Finland want to make a major contribution to this development. And of course, clarifying all the legal and regulatory issues is a big challenge. And ethical issues, we have a separate kind of project going on around clarifying ethics of data and AI use. And talking about the vision and how the future looks like, we believe that there will be many MyData operators, and we should make sure that these interoperate. And so personal data connections should be made possible in the trusted MyData network. So you should not be dependent on only one operator. So people should have freedom, at least to some extent, to choose what operator to use. And we should work on standards and harmonized data structures to make sure that the data flows freely. So again, I think we can fully agree with the MyData principle. How we want to empower individuals to make decisions on how their data is being used. So thanks. Here is my contact information. I have a blog that I should be updating soon, Twitter, and for Finnish speakers, there is also podcast, interesting podcast series starting. All right, thanks.